Hey folks, welcome today. This is Brandon Gallups with the PNN News and Ministry Network, and we are coming to you today from PNN, and I'll get corrected on that in a minute, Guatemala. And I have had the pleasure of being down here all of this week, working with a couple of different churches, as well as the gentleman right here to my right, Mr. Lloyd Monroe, and his ministry that he and his wife run full-time here in Guatemala, ppsimmons. So, Lloyd, first of all, thank you for having my family and I here and the churches that we worked with this week and being a part of your ministry here.
It's been a pleasure. You've been a great team.
Well, I appreciate it. And we're going to talk a little bit about what we've been able to experience this week. But Lloyd and his wife, Melanie, have a very unique ministry, ppsimmons, here in Guatemala, and they work with the indigenous people here, the Mayan people. They meet their needs where they are. They provide people with housing, with food, with clean water, with stoves that they can cook on in their homes, where oftentimes they're cooking over an open fire inside of the only room that they have in what they call a home. As well as Lloyd and his wife have immersed themselves here in this local community and have found very unique ways to be able to gain the respect of the local people and then in turn have an opportunity to share Jesus with them. So Lloyd, again, we appreciate that. And tell us a little bit about your ministry, how you got here, and what you guys do here particularly.
Well, I was a civil trial lawyer for 23 years, but about 10 years ago we had a vision as members of a short-term team to start this ministry in this town, PNN, the world's #4 hippie travel destination. So our outreach is to the indigenous Mayans that surround the village, but also to the expatriates and the hippie community that is really post-Christian, if you will, and turned off to the way because of what they've seen and because of a lot of misunderstanding. So we have a multifaceted ministry that involves hosting teams, year-round humanitarian relief, Solomon's Porch Cafe, here where we are, live music outreach. That translates into me playing in rock and roll bands in the bars here for years. That's been the biggest dialogue builder other than the humanitarian relief. So
somewhere somebody just passed out because you're a Christian and you play in a rock and roll band in a bar. Oh! But listen, I want to vouch for this man and what I've seen here this week because, you know, we have to be what Paul told us to be. We have to be all things to all people. And you and I were talking a little while ago. That doesn't mean if we want to minister to addicts that we need to become an addict. But we have to meet them where they are. We can't expect an addict to stroll into our First Baptist Church in PNN, Guatemala, and come to know Jesus.
That's a good point. We have an active outreach to alcoholics and addicts. The churches won't accept them as a rule. They want to get them cleaned up first and then come. It doesn't work that way. They come in dirty, if you will, and we have a way to have them detoxified and then to include them in our community and to offer them jobs when they get sobered up. When you get sober, you need a job. And so we have a very active outreach to addicts and alcoholics down here.
And I have actually witnessed that this week and seen you be able to help people out that have fallen into that temptation.
It's a mess, let me tell you.
No, it is. And obviously the community here.
I mean, our ministry's a mess. Trying to do that. And it's not clean.
No, and listen, you know, you bring up a good point because ministry oftentimes should not be clean. There's a time and a place for it, absolutely. But Jesus went into the house of the Pharisee. He met the prostitute at the well. He didn't stand in the synagogue and expect them to come to him.
True.
And that's what I've seen out of you in your ministry this week. And you know, even working with the indigenous people here, obviously there's language barriers, there's some cultural barriers. I've had the privilege of getting to understand some of their religious beliefs, if you will, this week. And you don't just walk out on the street or walk into one of these villages and grab a bullhorn and start preaching Jesus and have a crusade on the corner. That sounds great in the United States. Not sure it works all the time.
Sometimes, maybe.
But you have found a way here to gain the respect of people in all walks of life. From the poorest of the poor, the indigenous people here, you found ways to overcome the language barrier by employing people that can speak all of these languages here, and there's a multitude of them.
And not imposing our ways on the Mayans. We don't try to turn them into gringos, if you will.
Yeah.
In other words, we want to respect their building methods when we can. We want to respect their culture and involve them in their decisions so that it's not top down. It's a horizontal relationship, if you will. They respect us, we respect them, and you gain that respect. You earn it. It's not instant either way. So that's the way we work it.
Yeah. Well, listen, again, I've seen it, I've witnessed it this week, and it obviously is working. I will say the biggest blessing for me this week was this. We had the opportunity, the team I've been with, to work on a lady by the name of Antonia, to work on her house. She has a little metal shack, if you will, now for a home.
Single mother
of 4.
Yep.
Horrible circumstances. And you guys met her, are able to bless her with a home, a concrete block home with a roof and with an indoor commode.
Quality.
And a kitchen, an indoor kitchen, things that she could never have on her own.
True.
But the biggest blessing for me was this, you don't even know this yet. When we got ready to leave the work site for the last time yesterday, we gathered around Antonia and through a translator were able to pray with her. And just, when we prayed with her and prayed in the name of Jesus, it was so amazing when we got done, the words she said to us. She said that she knew that it was the love of Jesus that brought us to her. Now, and before this lady probably met your ministry, Porch de Solomon, and then teams like ourselves coming to work there, had never even heard the name Jesus. But she understood there was something a little different. And I'm not proclaiming she got on her knees and prayed the sinner's prayer. What I'm saying is she understood that there was something a little bit different, and there was a deeper reason for people coming to help her. And that hands down is the biggest blessing for me this week.
That's part of what we try to do through our native workers, if you will, our indigenous workers and our humanitarian relief folks who are all Guatemalan, is let these people grow in their understanding and explain why would strangers come down from the United States, give up their vacation time, pay money to come build them a house. They had never thought of that, and it's Jesus in action, if you will.
Yeah. Well, and we've only got a couple of minutes left here, but as we close, I want to obviously give you the last opportunity to tell folks how they can help out, where to contact you. But I want to say this. Things that I've witnessed this week, not only the home building, but setting up stoves in people's homes, cook stoves, where they don't have to cook over an open fire with no ventilation. Water filtration systems that you guys set up so people can have clean water. Food assistance programs, little small children that are so obviously malnourished, and providing them with food.
The worst chronic malnutrition rate in the world is what we have here in Guatemala. Yeah.
Wow, yeah. And then the other thing is this, and this is huge, and I know this gains your respect here, is you could very easily have fed all of us here in your cafe every night and saved a lot of money, I'm sure of that, and put a lot more money back into the ministry. But every night that we've been here this week, with the exception of one, you fed us here, we have gone to local restaurants, and I know that you arrange this ahead of time to where you bring teams in, and you put money that could be going directly into this ministry, into the local economy. And then that money turns over here. I think you told us an estimated 6 times.
That's what the economists say.
Right. So, but the bottom line is, you're giving to this community in so many ways where you could be, like so many churches, so internally focused.
Our neighbors notice where we spend our money, especially in this small town, 15,000 people. It would be a bad testimony if we hoarded, if you will, all the team money. So they notice where we spend our money. It's a way of building relationships and being authentic. It's one thing to talk about sharing, but if you're not sharing, you can talk about it all you want. So we do the best we can. It's also very liberating to say we're not perfect. We're doing the best we can with God's help.
No, that's exactly right, and there's never been a perfect man.
Sometimes we don't shave.
Sometimes we don't shave for the week we're in Guatemala.
I shaved today.
But no, listen, Lloyd, in closing again, tell people website where they can find you. If you have any specific needs, how they can donate to specific needs and what those amounts may be. Feel free. You didn't ask me to say this or to give you this opportunity, but I want you to say it right now. This guy hates asking for money, so here we go.
Our website, thank you, brother. Our website is www.porch, P-O-R-C-H, Salomon, SALOMON.org. We're also on Facebook. We're a 501c3 charity. All donations are tax deductible. And there's ways you can donate everything from a $90 water filter system that'll give the people the gift of clean water, $175 for the wood EcoContra wood stoves that you're talking about that burn less firewood, school scholarships, right on up to $6,000 for a brand new house. We'll aim big. So thank you for that opportunity, and we depend on folks, generous folks, to make it work.
Lloyd, appreciate the time, appreciate your hospitality to my family and the people that we work with this week and for your ministry here in Guatemala.
Thank you for your encouragement.